Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So today we are going to talk about three different topics, and we are first going to talk about the Barcelona club. So we do have some updates for FC Barcelona. So today is Monday, which means that the whole team were training as a collective, and it says here that it's official. This morning Barcelona officially held their first full group training while following La Liga protocols for phase 4. And so this type of training, like training as a collective, will be going on for 2 weeks, all the way up until the first match day. And it's great to see the team back together, because not too long ago we did see them all isolated from each other, like no one was together. And now to finally have them back on the training field, training together, all smiles, everyone's laughing, everyone's cracking jokes. It's a great thing to see, because this is just telling us that football is coming back. And just also seeing the people who were injured 2 to 3 months ago are finally back, like Luis Suarez. He is training with the first team. Everybody was together, and we even have Samuel Umtiti participate in this training session. And it says here Samuel Umtiti is recovering from injury. He completed part of the session with the squad and is edging closer and closer to returning to full fitness. So yes, even Samuel Umtiti was taking part of this training session. It was very fun to see. If you guys haven't seen the training session for FC Barcelona, it's on YouTube on the FC Barcelona channel. But yeah, is Samuel Umtiti ready for the first match? I'm going to have to say no, not yet. And even though he's making very fast progress, this is only telling us that his injury is not that serious. He will be coming back sooner rather than later, and there is a possibility that Samuel Umtiti could be there at least on the bench. And the one thing that I do want to explain is that one of Setien's biggest objectives for the next 2 weeks on the training ground is to get the players into rhythm and get them ready when they do come back on the pitch. Because look, I know that there's no type of training that will equal the intensity and the demanding of a real game, but they can get close to it depending on how they train on the pitch, and that's very, very important. We don't want to look slow and transition very slow. We want to be ready by the time that first game does hit, and Setien's objective is to do that. And we have seen something close to that happen on the training field. We are seeing a lot of 8v8 matches. They have 7v7, 6v6, 9v9. A lot of little matches are being played right now, which is a great thing to see, and it's going to prepare them very well. And so yesterday the club did announce that Barcelona will be playing against Mallorca and Leganés for their first 2 matches. And I did announce it on Instagram and YouTube, and it says here that on the 13th of June, Mallorca will be playing against Barcelona, and Barcelona will be away. And then 3 days later, which will be on June 16th, Barcelona will play against Leganés, and Barcelona will be at home. And this is official. This is the first 2 matches that Barcelona will be playing. And these games are not going to be easy, but it is the perfect way to kick off La Liga for FC Barcelona. And I did put a poll on my Instagram. I asked, would everyone want to see a pre-match preview and a post-match review for these 2 games and going forward? And so the results did come in. It says here that 70% of the people do want to see the pre-match and post-match videos for every match that Barcelona will be playing, instead of just posting only the post-match reviews. So that means that on YouTube, on here, I will be posting the pre-match previews and post-match reviews for every game that Barcelona will be playing. It's not just going to be La Liga, it's also going to be for the UEFA Champions League. And I also will be making a pre-match preview and post-match review for the Real Betis versus Sevilla game, which is going to be the first game on June 11th and will be the only game that will be played on that day. So I'm going to be very excited to see Spanish football back in general. It's going to be very fun, so I'm going to be having those videos posted as soon as possible. And we will be following up on the fitness of Luis Suarez, Samuel Umtiti, Ansu Fati, and Monchu, because right now they have no green light. I'm especially waiting for the green light of Luis Suarez and Ansu Fati, because we do need them, and I believe that they will come back before the first match does start on June 13th. And I also do want to talk about the UEFA Champions League. We do have some updates. It says here, according to Onda Cero, that Atletico Madrid makes the Wanda Stadium available to the UEFA Champions League final this year if it does not get played in Istanbul. The Lisbon option is the one that appears to be a favorite by offering 2 stadiums. And so for FC Barcelona, they are no strangers to this stadium. They have been visiting this stadium every time they do play against Atletico Madrid, because they are in the same league. But this is also a stadium that was being used for the final of the 2018-2019 season. Now moving on to the next topic of the day, and we are going to talk about Sandro Tonali. So Sandro Tonali has been a player and a name that has been surrounding FC Barcelona for over the past 24 to 48 hours. This is a player that has has been valued by many clubs, and this is a player that's known to have very, very good work rate. He knows how to protect the ball. He has a great physical presence, and this is a player that has a lot of maturity in the game at only 20 years old. And not just that, but this is a player that could become one of the greatest midfielders in the world in 3 to 4 years. And so not only is he valued by multiple clubs, but he has been linked by multiple clubs like PSG, Inter Milan, Juventus, and FC Barcelona. And it says here, according to Deo Sport, Brescia's president Massimo Saino stated that Barcelona made an important offer for Sandro Tonali before the pandemic. And according to that president, he said that Barcelona offered 65 million euros and 2 youngsters. And so could Tonali join FC Barcelona? And if he were to join FC Barcelona, how is Tonali going to fit in that midfield? Could we see Arthur De Jong and Tonali? Could we see Coutinho, Tonali, and De Jong? There is multiple ways for Tonali to fit in that midfield, but we do have a report coming from Mundo Deportivo stating that Barcelona denied the existence of that offer and say that it's a strategical move from Brescia to increase the player's price tag as he has gathered the interest from Juventus, Inter Milan, and PSG. Then we have Jared Romero confirming this. Barcelona never made an offer with that amount. The president wants to make a big auction for Tonali, and this is only telling me one thing, and you guys know where I'm going with this. I think that Brescia is trying to move the exact same way like Inter Milan, meaning that they want to use Barcelona's name to tell the other clubs out there like PSG, Juventus, Inter Milan that this is the price tag they are putting on Tonali. And again, this is the exact same move Inter Milan are trying to pull off on Barcelona, which means that Brescia wants as much money as possible from this transfer. They're using this as a tactic to put pressure on other teams in order to bid more money for Tonali. So at the moment, where do we stand between Barcelona and Tonali? So Barcelona have not yet bid or asked for this player. They have shown interest, but they have never shown interest to the point where they are going to be asking for this player every day, asking for his price. And we also have multiple journalists confirming that Inter Milan and Juventus are ahead of the game on getting Tonali's signature, and that Tonali is open for a move to Italy. And again, just going back to that strategic move that Brescia wants to pull off, is very surprising to me just how Italian teams like to negotiate. And I'm really starting to see a pattern from these Italian teams. I'm starting to see that teams like Juventus, Inter Milan, Brescia, they really do like to use the media to their advantage in order to put pressure on other clubs to put more money in and bid for a player. And again, it's the exact same thing that Inter Milan were trying to do. They said, we don't want to accept any offers for Lautaro Martinez unless that they give us 111 million. It's like the Italian teams don't want to speak directly to another club. They want to use the media and translate that into the other clubs so that the other clubs can be confused and be like, wait a minute, we might actually lose the bid. Is this really what they're asking for? We have to react. But besides that, the chances of Tonali going to Barcelona are very low, and I just don't think that Tonali is going to go to Barcelona anytime soon. It's a long summer, but Barcelona has other goals in mind. Could Tonali be a great signing for Barcelona? It could, but at the end of the day, Barcelona are looking elsewhere. They are looking for attackers. They're not looking for midfielders. They believe that they are good in the midfield area, and they do want to strengthen their attacking options. And with Tonali being priced at 65 million euros and knowing Barcelona's financial hurtings, this move is almost impossible. Now moving on to the next topic of the day, and we are going to talk about Todibo. Yes, we do have some updates on Todibo. This is a player who we don't know where he's going to be at and where his future is going to be held, but we do have the sporting director of Schalke speak about Todibo, and this is what he had to say. We no longer have a purchase option for Todibo. The deadline passed yesterday. Then we have Sport finalizing what he just said, and they said the future of Todibo is far from Schalke 04. The German club had an option to buy on the Barcelona defender for 25 million euros, but the option expired today. Now, does this mean that we could see Todibo participate in the Barcelona training ground within the next 6 to 7 days? And look, the contract expiration date is very different from a purchase option. Right now, Todibo still has a contract with Schalke until June 30th, which means that he needs to stay at that club until that date. And surprisingly, that is where the Bundesliga will end. The Bundesliga does end on the 27th or the 28th. Then his contract will expire on June 30th. So even though Barcelona can say to Schalke that they want to bring back Todibo because the loan has expired, retired, a deal can easily be made by Schalke just asking to keep Todibo until June 30th. Now, many might ask, why would Barcelona agree to a move like this? Why would they want to keep Todibo at that German club until June 30th? And so let me explain. So Todibo is on the market, unfortunately, which means that Barcelona do not see Todibo in their plans. And because of that, they don't mind having Todibo stay at that German club until June 30th, even though that loan has ended. And now with Schalke unable to afford Todibo's services because they do have to pay 25 million, I believe that as for Todibo, only two things can happen to him this summer. The first one is for Schalke to ask for another loan for Todibo, or Barcelona bring him back and sell him to a club where they could pay the 25 million euros. Because I don't see Schalke paying the 25 million euros for his services, and I don't see Barcelona keeping Todibo in the Barcelona squad next season. And I'm going to say this again, I disagree with having Todibo on the market. I believe that Todibo deserves a chance with FC Barcelona, but to Barcelona, I think that the only way for him to come back would be for Todibo to put out great performances until June 30th. And at the moment, he is not doing that. We have seen how Todibo performed yesterday with the team, and it did not look outstanding, and that is not helping Barcelona make the decision of keeping Todibo. So does Todibo have the capabilities to play at FC Barcelona? That is something that we're going to have to find out within the remaining games for Schalke. Now moving on to the last topic of the day, and this is going to be a very quick one because I do want to address this rumor, something that has been going on around Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere on social media. So we do have a player named SAÚL from Atletico Madrid. He did post something on Instagram and Twitter, and it says here, new club, I'll announce it in 3 days. And then we can see another picture here, it says I'll announce it in 2 days, and he keeps updating it. And that is where the questions were coming in, saying could SAÚL leave Atletico Madrid and go to FC Barcelona? Besides, he is a Spaniard, he is familiar with FC Barcelona, and people were making all of these theories about this player and why he was posting this on social media. But then we have the reliable journalist Fabrizio Romano confirming that this has nothing to do with any transfer, and not only that, but this also has nothing to do with a departure from Atletico Madrid. So not only is he not going to FC Barcelona, but he is going to remain as a Atletico Madrid player. So this has nothing to do with the transfer window. This player is worth around 90 million to 130 million euros on the transfer market, and he does have a contract until 2026, and that is something that 99% of the clubs cannot afford right now. And not only that, but this is a very unprofessional way to announce your departure from a club by counting down the days of leaving your current club, unless you're Antoine Griezmann, right? But people have also suggested that this also has something to do with esports. He could be sponsored for something to do with gaming, I don't know, but this has nothing to do with any transfer, and he will not be coming to FC Barcelona. So that is it for today's Barcelona daily news. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, I appreciate you guys watching me for the first time. Feel free to subscribe, like, comment, do what you need to do. And again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.